Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2 and I'm back again with another book review. I just recently read Fox Hunt, Refugee's Memoir of Coming to America, Muhammad al-Samawi. And this is a man who had been raised since the time of his birth to believe the tenets of the Quran and nothing else. And he always thought that Jews were the enemy and etc. But one day he happened upon the Torah, and he loved the Torah, and he was beginning to question his own beliefs, and he thought, I've been taught so many horrible things about these people, these foxes, that we can't trust. They're deceivers, and etc. And they're going to burn in hell because they don't follow the way, and all that. And it's just that whole fundamental mindset that Muhammad challenged himself. And he decided, I must know more. There has to be something that I can do. And this absolutely sensational journey that he takes in learning about the Torah and the Bible, as he meets somebody that encourages him to read the Bible from the middle on out. And he said, well, whoever reads a book from the middle? But it changes his life. It shifts his whole entire perspective completely. And he evolves into an entirely new person. And he gets involved in this movement, this filled with different people that want peace and a different way of seeing everything, because Abraham is our father. He was the one that began it all. If you read, and I've read the Quran too, and honestly, I don't see anything wrong with the Quran, although it does say kill the infidel at one point in time. I mean, the fundamentalists will say, oh, yeah, kill the infidel, but if you meet true, honest Islamic people, they don't really believe in that. And they're more open. I think that the more conservative ones are definitely more open as far as I've met. And I have a lot of friends who are Muslim, so they're very good people. And I have friends that are Hindu and atheists. Believe it or not, I have very good atheist friends. I have Wiccan friends. I have friends who are transgender, gay, drag queens. Yeah, you name it, I've got it. I'm pretty open-minded. I think we're all God's kids. We were all made in his image. And actually Muhammad had trouble with, did God have lack of imagination? I had to laugh at that. I thought, you can't put God in a box, Muhammad. But it's just such a good story, and is so intense that many times you think, oh dear Lord, please help him. Keep him safe. He's in very deleterious, precarious waters here, and his life is definitely on the line. And there were times I felt really white-knuckled reading this book, and there's not often times that I'll read a book like that unless it's a suspense novel like Agatha Christie or similar. But this was one that just, you're waiting to catch your breath because it's that involved. But like I said, going back to my original thought, I have a lot of friends who are Islamic and people who are African, and they are Christian or evangelical. I have Pentecostal friends, Christian friends, or Protestant, I should say, Catholic friends, Lutheran friends, Episcopalian, or as my dad would say, a Whiskapalian, because I drink a lot of whiskey. No, it's a joke. Come on, it's a joke. But I just think that we all belong to the same tribe. I mean, let me just tell a story. I'm gonna become an old rabbi here in a minute. Abraham, father of us all, he went to the mountain. Well, Gabriel came to him and said, you must sacrifice your son, your only son. I thought, no, wait, he has two sons. He has Ishmael as well. Ishmael followed along. I think Ishmael was thinking, oh, I get to go as well at the sacrifice. Wonder where we're going. Father, where are we going with all the wood? Why is there no kid for the offering? It's the old joke, but um, it was actually more Isaac asking the questions than Ishmael, although I'm sure Ishmael, his mind was being rankled and just was racking with, why, Dad? Why? Why Isaac? But he actually, in the Quran, it's still, he gets cast out. Hagar and Ishmael get cast out, and they don't get the promise like Isaac does. That's what caused the whole issue to begin with. That's why they've been fighting for thousands and thousands of years. But despite the point, they were cast out into the wilderness, and of course, Angel Gabriel, the messenger, the archangel, he comes and he delivers a message to Hagar, and he gives her provision, of course, supernatural provision, and Ishmael is told that he will be an archer and he will have enmity with his brothers. He becomes the leader of the Ishmaelites, or AKA what we know as modern day Islam. So Ishmael is the father of the Ishmaelites. Isaac is the father of all known Hebrews. From that point on, he gets the promise. Ishmaelites don't like to, well, what's so funny is they don't get along very well at all in the beginning. But when Abraham dies, guess what happens? And I always found this to be so comforting. But why does it have to be someone's death? Somebody in the family has to die in order for this to happen. I mean, somebody important, and it's the patriarch. Go figure, right? Well, Abraham bites the dust. And then Ishmael and Isaac, they get back together and they go to their father's funeral and they embrace his brothers. And I think, why did it take you so? You're Abraham's your papa. Why? Why are you so like Ishmael? What's your deal? I mean, no offense, but I mean, none taken, right? Because I love the Muslim people, and I have a lot of Muslim friends. And I am Aramaic myself, so, well, I have Aramaic background, so I get it. I mean, I totally understand. Like, going back into Genesis, I really feel for Cain. I really feel for Cain. I mean, I know that he didn't have the right kind of sacrifice. It wasn't blood sacrifice. That's what's important. The blood is important because that's what Christ gave to us, and it's foreshadowing. But anyway, that's the messianic part of the Bible right there, folks, in a nutshell. But I think a lot of rabbis would agree with me on that. But anyway, hopefully I don't get flamed. But it's Fox Hunt is a really superbly written book, and Muhammad is a man that is very open-minded. Well, he didn't start out that way. He was very narrow, and he just felt like he shouldn't be dealing with Jewish people at all. But it took one little introduction to the Torah, and then boom, his mind was blown. He thought, I like this book. I love what it says. And he reads the New Testament. He thinks the same thing. I love this book, and I want to learn more. What is this? What are all these different aspects here? This thing about forgiveness, and just it's really beautiful when faiths interlace like that. I feel the same way as the apologist C.S. Lewis did about faith. I think there are many pathways to understanding. And God made us in his image, and he made us different. We're snowflakes, but all in all, we're human beings. We all bleed the same color. I've been telling people that for years, and I just want to get along with people. I want to have peace in the world like Muhammad, and I love him for writing this. I love him for going through what he went through, because he went through hell. He just, I thought he was getting close to getting killed by somebody, but with things like this, it's such a radical, rebellious thing to do, and you think, oh, there's a revolution, holy moly, but it's so terrific. You can't put it down. You can't hold back. And of course, the photos that he had, and the interactions he had with different people in the narrative. It just makes you think he went to all that just to begin a movement to get people to realize how similar we really are as far as we're all human, basically. That's what it comes down to. That's the meat in the coconut. And it's that simple. And I know we live in a complex world, but we don't have to make it so complex. And this is coming from a person who is a budding philosopher. So, yeah, imagine me saying that. But I'm one of those people, and I think it's a wake-up call. I just think it's another sign of things to come in the times, and that we are living in an apocalyptic era. And I know people think apocalypse, and they get really scared. But it's nothing to be afraid of. This is something good. It doesn't always have to be. Well, there are some things that will not be so pleasant in the coming end times, but despite all that, I feel like this book is one of those wake-up calls, a call to action, and a evangelistic book. And it's bold. I thought, just for you to write something like this in this day and age, even with everything going on between the Palestinians and the Israelis, and I feel for both sides, because I have friends on both sides, and I love the Palestinian. I have a friend I haven't spoken to in years. Well, he hasn't spoken to me in years. And I'm praying that I can go to Israel, because I have a message I want to put in the Wailing Wall for him. And hopefully he'll find it, and hopefully we can reconnect. Because I'm thinking he's still in Palestine. But my dad didn't like me talking to him because he was from Palestine. And my dad really wasn't a racist person. He was kind of narrow-minded about some things, and I just was upset about that. But anyways, I forgive him for being like that. I guess he was just trying to protect me. But Fox Hunt is a rather short book. It's only 300-something pages, if I can remember. It's not including acknowledgments. Let me say, including acknowledgments. The book only spans... Give me a second, if you would. The book only spans about... Yeah, he came from Yemen. Yeah, Yemen is an interesting place. There's a really good movie I would recommend if you want to know a little bit about Yemen. It's called Salmon Fishing in the Yemen. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's one of my favorite movies, actually. It is based on a true story, too. This is 315. I know it's kind of a random thing to throw out there, but that's the only Yemeni movie I can think of. It's sort of like, when I think of different places, the only movies I can think of are these, like... With Greece, there are a few movies. I mean, good ones. You don't want to see real Greek movies because they're disturbing. But movies about Greece, made in America, yeah, those are safe. Salmon Fishing in the Yemen is such a wonderful film. It's so wonderful. It's just outstanding, very uplifting, and based on a true story. And on the back leaflet, it says, he's born in 1986 in Yemen. In his mid-20s, he became... in his mid-20s. That in itself is impressive. He became involved in interfaith groups promoting dialogue between Muslims, Christians, and Jews. It talks about that quite extensively in the book. In 2015, during the Yemeni Civil War, he fled from Aden to the United States. Since his entry into the United States, he has worked for several NGOs that promote peace and tolerance. God love you. God bless you. That's all I have to say. Really, because I just think that people like that need to have a Nobel. I'm hoping that Mr. Al-Samwi gets a Nobel. Please nominate this man for a Nobel. If he hasn't gotten a Nobel already, please do. And I would love to see this done as a film, because there were people that were greenlighting his publishing. I thought, why hasn't he gotten a movie deal? Because this would make such a great film, and I would go see it. But it has all the makings of a marvelous, magnificent, phenomenal film, and I'd do it. I don't know who I would cast, but I'd totally do it. I might cast Russell Peters, but no, maybe not Russell Peters, but the guy. I'm thinking of the guy in Parks and Rec. Yeah, the guy in Parks and Rec would make a perfect. Yeah, actually, he would be a dead ringer for Muhammad. Yeah, he would be. He would be a dead ringer for Muhammad. I would, although I know he's never done a serious role. Like, I want him to play that role, but it had to be an Arabic. Well, I'll do my best to do an Arabic cast. But that's all I gotta say. So until next time, live on, prosper. Ciao, tutti.